All right, everybody. This is Royal with Paternity University. I'm here with Antonio Jones out of Memphis, Tennessee. He is
Yep.
a student that I've had for the past year and a half or so. We're gonna talk about his journey, his success so far, and we're gonna get into it. So, Antonio, how you doing, man?
I'm good. I'm good.
Good,
How
man.
things going with you?
Good, good. Cannot complain, brother. I cannot complain.
Good.
Um, So Antonio, man, talk about a little bit like where you're from and what eventually led you to this point of deciding to start a paternity testing business.
I'm from Memphis. Been back in Memphis now for about a year and a half. About a year and a half, almost 2 years now. I was in DC and I started looking for other things to do other than teach. And so I moved back to Memphis and determined not to teach and um, got into fingerprinting. Started looking into that and came across the Paternity University um, link or what have you. So I looked into it and saw that it was seemed to be real professional, and I was like, okay, because I seen some others, and I was like, well, let me go ahead and invest in this one. Yeah, I've been with this one ever since then.
Here you are now, yeah, year and a
Yep.
half later, and
Yep.
you've done so. What do you remember now that once you were into the course, right? From a year and a half ago, what do you remember about the course and how it was presented in the community? What picked up on that?
Say that one more time for me.
I said, what do you once you got into the course, what do you remember about the course? What stood out about the course once you were in?
One of the things that stood out the most for me that actually made me it's modules based, so I can the what kind of learner that I am. Um, I need to go back and see things over and over and over. So that was a plus for me, and then once I started learning that paternity fraud was real, and I'm seeing that a whole lot, and so that really got me interested. And so, yeah,
Okay, okay, for sure. What do you think about the community aspect, like the Slack channel, the fact that you could reach out to me directly? Like, what do you think about that part?
well, I do both. A lot of times, I have questions, and I don't want to worry you so much or call you so much. I go into the Slack chat, and I'm able to search and find the answers a lot, especially when it comes to prenatal tests. And so, yeah, I learned a lot. It's convenient and a plus for that in that
Yeah, I
regard.
love it. I love how you said you search for stuff and you find it, like because it's there. There's a search bar. You can type
Right.
in prenatal and then you can see all the conversations about it in the past and you'll find your answer. That's dope. So what was it like, setting up your business, setting up the Google business page and all that stuff? Like what was that initial part like before you got your first call?
Um, the Google My Business page was difficult. I kept setting up page after page after page, and it kept getting taken down for some reason. And finally, I hired a website company, and they did my website and they did the Google My Business and everything. So whenever I have a problem with Google My Business, I call them and they take care of it.
Okay.
So yeah, so it's like a one-stop shop kind of thing.
Okay. That's smart. That's smart. What was when when you got your first call? Like, how soon after your Google business do you remember getting your first call? And what was that first call like?
About it caught me off guard. So I want to say maybe a week or so, because I was expecting a little longer, but it caught me off guard, and I was very nervous. I was had to hurry up, and for some reason I kept the script open on my computer, so that I could be ready. And yeah, you go by the script or what have you, but you're still nervous, and so like no, I didn't do it. And the I was naive. And the lady kind of got over on like, what lab do you work with? And I'm giving her information. I was like, oh, I should have done that. But yeah, I know better now.
That's what it's all about, though, is just getting that practice. You're not going to be a rock star on your first call. You're not.
Right.
I mean, like I wasn't. Nobody is. It's going to catch you off guard. I try to tell people like get ready because once you set up your Google business page, you want to kind of like stagger setting up your account with the laboratory and then your Google business page because once that Google business page is set up, the calls are going to start coming in. If you don't have any kits at all, you're going to be scrambling trying to figure it out or calling me to send you a kit, which I don't mind doing, but you
Right.
have it. You want to have it all kind of set up to where once you get that call, you can fulfill the service. So, okay, so that was your first call. It was a disaster. All right,
Right.
cool. You learn. What about your second, third, fourth, fifth calls? Like, did you get better every time?
Yeah, once I figured out, once you start building a relationship with the callers, it gets easier. And so you start asking them their names, you call them by their names, and then they start getting more comfortable with you.
Mhm.
And so I say about maybe the fourth or fifth call, I pretty much had it down.
Good, good, good. Now, how many calls do you remember it took to get your first sale?
Oh, I think it was 12. If I remember, I remember the number 12. So I think about 12 calls.
Okay. That's not
Yeah.
bad. That's I
Nah,
always say it's about a 10% conversion rate for calls. So, 1 out of 10 calls are gonna buy from you. So 12, that's not bad.
right.
Um, what do you remember what type of test did you sell to that person, that first one? Do you remember?
It was a legal DNA test.
Okay. Okay.
Mm.
And how did that process go? How did the conversation, the sell process, the fulfilling, did you do the test yourself?
I didn't do the test myself. I contacted any lab test now and let
Okay.
them do it.
Okay.
I kind of have regrets not doing it myself now, but kind of, but yeah, I let them do it.
Okay. So you outsourced your first test.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. And how did you learn how to outsource?
Through the course, your course.
Okay. That's it. That's it. Good. So what was that process like then? So you sold the test, right? The lady paid you. Now, was your
Right.
heart racing? Like when you got that payment, how did that feel?
Well, that caught me off guard too because I didn't. She did like everybody else. Yeah, I'm gonna take. You send her the invoice. You
Mm.
don't hear from them, and then she bing. I was like, whoa. And so, but and it was good because it was a woman. I was expecting a man. The first
Mm.
legal DNA test to be from a man, but it was a woman and for her husband.
Mm.
And so, like I said, once I got in touch with any lab tests now, they told me where they were, so I went and dropped off some kits or what have you, and called you first, and you was like, just give them most of your kits, and so I took them most of my kits. So I'm glad I did that because now I did this
You
morning.
just call them up. Yeah.
Uh, yeah, about an hour ago to the email, hey, you got a client coming Monday, so and I don't have to go because I got all of my kits there.
Yeah.
And so, but so with her, it was easy because she's the wife, and
Hmm.
there's a girlfriend involved.
Hmm.
Excuse me. So, um, whatever I needed, she was cooperative. She was very professional, what have you. And so she went and everything, kind of found out the baby wasn't his. And she was talking, you brought us so much, you definitely brought us a peace of mind and all that kind of thing. And so
Good.
once she gave me that feedback, I was gone from there. My head was big, I can do this.
Well, yeah, yeah. I mean, because you solved a real life problem. It goes from being all theory and in the course and in the module and what I say on YouTube and what I say in the course to like a real life. This is a real life situation that you really help somebody in real life, and you more than likely never saw her, right? Because you were able
Right.
to outsource it. Did
Never
she
saw her.
care? Did she care that she was being sent to any lab test now? Did she ask about that? No.
She didn't even know.
Mm,
She thinking that's just part of the process. So
look at that. Fulfilling
yeah.
this purpose. Yeah, yeah. And you know what? That's like now that I'm on the other side, I see different companies like us, right? Like we're distributors, we're middlemen, but I see them, they operate on a probably a bigger scale, right? Their marketing is bigger. And I see that's exactly what they just do that. They do what we do, outsource on a larger, more
Right.
national or regional level. It's the same thing. They say, hey, I'm gonna send you here. The client goes in and gets collected, you know, and boom, that's it. And we charge the place, the distributor, a collection fee, and that's it. Okay, cool, 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 cool. So, what about the sales after that? Like, um, were there ups with it? Was it moments of pure time where it was nothing, and then all of a sudden, boom? How was that like for you?
Well, from there, it became not, I wouldn't say it wasn't bad, but it was, consistent, I would say. The phone calls were definitely coming in. The
Mm,
sales were a whole different thing.
yeah.
And so the summertime went this past last summer and things were pretty good. Fall was pretty good. Then it started to slack off around November. And
Mm-hmm,
then I told myself, well, it'll pick up after Christmas. And January it started to pick up. And then
mm-hmm,
we had the whole winter thing happen. And I knew that around March people were going to start man, my phone
mm-hmm.
is ringing. I'm making sales now. and because everybody was snowed in for winter, but they weren't necessarily snowed in where they need to be snowed in. And so
Yeah, yeah, they were stuck in the house. They were
right.
yeah, yeah.
So the sales are definitely coming in.
Have
Mm.
you sold any prenatal tests yet?
So one last week, I've been selling them now. This is about my third one.
Oh wow.
Um, yeah, so since January, I think it was. So
Oh wow.
those are coming in pretty good.
What is that
And
process like for you? What is that sales process like for you?
just as simple as this in the sales process. So basically they call the I've been blessed in that regard because they call me ready. I don't have to pretty much sell it to them. You know,
Really?
they're calling me and it's like, you okay? Well, I call around everybody. You the cheapest. I said, okay.
Okay. Fair enough. Okay, great. And you do the same thing. You send in the any lab test now, right? You're not a phlebotomist.
Send an email. I got kids already over there.
Look at that.
So it's
So you operate
uh,
this whole thing from your phone, man.
from my phone. I taught last summer in the Bronx, and I was selling uh, at my desk while I was
Wow.
teaching.
Wow. So you can be anywhere in the world as long as you got some kind of
Yep,
service or Wi-Fi connection,
exactly,
and you can sell
exactly.
paternity tests. That's
Yep,
crazy. Wow. I wonder who taught that, who teaches that.
right.
No, that's real cool, man. Because Antonio, you're like low key, right? Like you don't, you might ask some questions that may not have been asked before in the group chat. You'll come into
Right,
the group coaching calls, you're
right.
consistent with the group coaching calls, and you're just like, hey, I'm here, and I'm like, how things going? Like, I sold a bunch of tests. Like, you don't really talk about it. You're behind the scenes, you're low key, but that's cool,
Right.
man. So do you want to? What do you foresee your paternity testing company becoming in your area? What do you foresee that happening?
Well, the goal was to be the discount paternity testing agency in Memphis, but so much
Mm.
competition. Not sure if you're familiar with the cousin pastor, but he's based out of Memphis and he has a huge following. And now he has this show called Baby Daddy Drama or something, and he's doing paternity testing. But I was already kind of seeing something like that coming. So I had
Mm.
already said, okay, since I invested in Miss Jewel's course, this deceased paternity testing, I'll just create that lane.
Yeah,
And so not very many people even do deceased testing. So I was like, he can have that little money. I know what the
yeah,
bigger money is.
yeah. And for all those who are like curious about what that is, that's in the course. We're not gonna put that out yet. All right.
Okay.
Of course. Deceased. We're not gonna talk deep into that, on YouTube. But if you want to learn about deceased paternity testing and the opportunities not only yeah, you can make, yes, but like the opportunities to actually help somebody close a real chapter in their life, like for real, and helping the survivors, get benefits, etc. That's a real thing, and not
Right.
very many people do that. My mom, shameless
Right.
plug, my mom is probably one of the few independent paternity testing agents that does that very well in this country, in this entire country. So, and I can say that because I've been seeing her do this for 20 years. I've seen her do it. So yeah, Antonio, that's so dope, man. And I think you can still do it, brother. I mean, I had a video about competition I put up yesterday. What about competition? Oh my gosh, competition. It's like, yeah, but you can carve out your own lane, like what you're talking about now.
Hmm.
So I respect that a lot, brother. I respect that a lot. What's some of your goals by the end of the year?
My goal by the end of the year.
Yeah, by the end of the year. What are some of the goals that you want to accomplish by the end of the year?
Mm, to well, I don't want to talk much about it, but to be the face of deceased paternity testing here in Memphis.
Gotcha.
Yep.
Understood. 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 What's that funeral home that had that show on Netflix? You can
R.
link
Bernard
up with
Funeral Home.
you say that's who?
R. Bernard Funeral Home.
Yeah, you can link up with Buddy or something like that. I don't know, who knows, and we can go into
Maybe
that.
so.
Yeah, maybe so. Yo, Antonio, man, do you looking back, or how do you feel about taking the leap of faith and getting into this business? How do you, looking back a year and a half now, do you feel like it was worth it, or what do you feel
Oh,
about
it
it?
was definitely worth it. It was gonna be worth it. I had no problems taking the leap of faith. My mama had a stroke when I told her I was going to stop teaching. You're gonna do what? But I
Mm,
knew that I was going to make it work. And so now she's, I had to appease her and teach part time, but still now she's with me on this one.
she
Yeah,
sees,
so
she sees. Yeah,
yep, yeah,
yeah.
exactly.
One thing I always say, man, is like I tell people, this business, you're not going to be a millionaire next month. You're not.
Right,
All right. But it's very consistent and it only gets better over time. It's like this. And then you have moments in this part right here, you have moments
right,
where it's like this.
right.
It's like that. But overall, it just moves like that. Is that kind of what you're seeing in your business?
Yep. It's exactly what I'm saying. Like I said, you said it was a slow takeoff, but once I took off, it's like I got control of it now.
You got control.
So yeah, it's good. It's good.
Mm.
I don't see myself going back.
Good, good. Yeah, that's good, man. That's good. I'm proud of you, man.
Thank
This
you.
is a really dope conversation, man. Look, y'all, like this is a real student. He sold not just one, not two, not three, not four, not five, but probably a few dozen or dozens of paternity tests by now. All right, he's done
Yep.
it. He sold prenatals. He's found another vertical that he wants to get into within a niche within prenatal paternity testing. He's done it. He's mastered his sales. He's mastered, and that's one more thing, Antonio. We talk about the script, right?
Right.
You found your own flavor, didn't you? You found your own kind of style of talking to clients, right?
Right. Right. With using the script as a blueprint, but yeah, you find your swagger, I guess you try to say, or
Yeah.
you in it. Yeah, you do. Yeah.
Yeah, you find your own style. Like that's what I be
Right.
telling. Like, you said developing relationships. Eventually them and finding out their name and addressing them by name, Miss So and
Right.
So, Smith, Mr. Jones, whatever, and it
Right.
disarms them because when they're calling other places, right? It's just is this price? Yep, buy, click. you know, so we have that opportunity. People that do paternity testing solely, we can focus on that and focus on that sales process because the other places they're doing all types of stuff. They don't have time to be really, figuring out a person's life and all that stuff. Look, I got 10 people right here online. What do you want? You know what I mean? So
Right.
uh, that's good, man. You got anything else that you want to tell people who might be interested in looking into this business?
Uh, nah.
He said, "Nah. Look, he's like, look, there's enough information out there. If you want to do this, you can do it. You don't have to. You don't have to convince me. I don't have to try to convince you. That's good. That's lovely. Um, okay, cool, Antonio, man. I really appreciate you having. Really do. I was looking forward to
Thank
this.
you, man. I appreciate you, Rolf.
Yeah, man. No problem. Until next time, brother.
All
Peace.
right. Peace and
All
blessings.
right.